Good morning, students. How are you? I hope you are getting on well with your studies. Students, I'm starting this today's topic with the hope that you have completed the previous one and you are clear with all the concepts which we have done. So I tell you, students, we have started chapter number 3 in the previous class. That is your accounting principles, and we have discussed a few topics like definition, or you can say the meaning of accounting principle, needs of the accounting principle, features or characteristics of the accounting principle. Okay, students, we can divide this accounting principle in two parts, that is accounting concepts and conventions. These all things we have done in the previous class. We are recapitulating the points, important points. So we can divide the principles in two parts, that is concepts and conventions, and we have started doing with the concepts. Okay, we have the accounting standard 1, which is given by the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, and important 3 concepts they have included in that, and that is going concern concept, which we have discussed, consistency concept and accrual concept. All right, all these 3 points we have discussed in the previous class. I tell you within few lines. Going concern means with the expectation that our business will long last, like this will run for a long time of the period, so we decide our accounting on the basis of this only. Okay, we mentioned the fixed assets, we provide depreciation, we estimate the number of years of the working years of the machinery. Okay, consistency means the methods which you are following in your accounting, that you are following year after year. Frequently you are not doing the changes, right? The detailed study we have done. Accrual concept tells that it is not only cash basis, you mention it on the accrual basis, like your outstanding, prepaid. Okay, so that basis we have done. Our accountancy double entry system is based on accrual concept. Okay, it's not on cash concept. So these 3 concepts we have discussed in the previous class. Apart from these 3 concepts, we have certain other important concepts that we are going to study today. Well, students, these are the remaining one. We have another 8 concepts. Okay, the first one we are taking business entity concept. Student, this is not new for you. Business entity concept we have started the time when we have started doing accounting. Okay, we have learned this. The first entry, cash account debit to capital. So this entry is based on business entity concept. This concept tells that business and businessman both are separate. Okay, we have 2 point of view. One is legal point of view, another one is accounting point of view, right? From legal point of view, business and businessman both are same, but from accounting point of view, your business and businessman both are separate. And here we are doing the accounting, so we can say that business and businessman both are separate. This is your business entity concept. On the basis of this concept, we credit the capital, because this capital is provided by the businessman, right? To whom? To business. And another 2 important point which I have told you many times, once again I'm reminding you, we always think from business point of view while doing the entry, accounting entry. We always think from business point of view. And another important thing, we do the transaction in the books of business only, right? So this is because of your business entity concept. Okay, so businessman has provided 1 lakh rupee to the business, so business has taken from somebody, so it is a liability of the business, and one day it has to pay it back. Okay, so this is considered as their liability, right? And in the same way, drawing, when businessman is drawing something from the business for personal use, now business and businessman both are separate. Okay, now business is providing loan to somebody, personal loan it is giving, right? So this is possible because of business entity concept. I hope it is clear. Second, we have money measurement concept. Students, we enter the transaction in the books of account. Okay, so many transactions, now you are well aware about the things. You have learned the journal entry, ledger, everything you have done. So money measurement concept, we enter those transactions only which can be measured in terms of money, not anything else. Okay, like we have so many events takes place in the business, like a slight dent is there between the manager and staff, call has taken place between the production manager and the finance manager. Okay, uh, the employees are very sincere. They are staying for a long time of the period. After working hour, they are staying and they are doing the work. This is also one of the event. Means so many good, positive and negative events are taking place. Good and bad things go side by side. But our accountancy doesn't consider these kind of things which can't be measured in terms of money. Okay, these things can't be. No measurement of such things in the money. But if I say that we have 100 fans, we have 5 table, we have 20 chairs, we have 5 air conditioner, we have 2 vehicle of the firm on firm's name. So these things can be measured in terms of money. All right, students. So we can do the valuation of these things. This is the market price. This is the new one. So this is the amount, or if it is the old one, so this is the amount of them. Okay. So whatever items are there, piece of land is there, stock is there, any other kind of assets are there. So all these things can be measured in terms of money, right? So we enter. So this transaction, this concept tells that only those transactions which can be measured in terms of money will be entered in books of account, and rest of the events will not be entered. Fine. Well, we are moving to the third concept, that is accounting period concept. Students, the things are according to their name. If you understand the meaning of this, so most of the things will be clear to you. Accounting period concept. Accounting period क्या होता है? See, when we start getting education, so we start from the playgroup. You can say from the nursery we are starting, and the school education gets over at 10 plus 2, 12th. Okay, and we want to find out the performance of the student. So why don't we calculate, or we find out the performance the time when child completes the 12th standard. In fact, that is the final time we measure the performance of a child. But we need some corrective actions, and within a small intervals we just want to know the performance of the student. Either the child has completed this stage and is he able to move on the next stage, either this child has learned something, or is he or she is lagging behind somewhere. So we just want to know the results at the small intervals. So we have decided the system of the classes. Okay, after you can say 12 months, right? Every year we are conducting the examination for this purpose, and we are finding out the performance of the children. We are measuring the performance of the children. In the same way, students, we start a business with this illusion that this will run for a long time of the period, right? So your business has started with the concept of going concern concept, which we have already studied. But we have to give pause somewhere. It's not that finally the time when your business will wound up and we will calculate its results and all. So that is not scientific at all, because I just want to know where I'm going wrong, where am I right, and how much profit or loss I'm earning, right? Where are my where is the deficiencies, my weak points are there, which are my strong points. So everything you want to come to know. So for this, they have decided a small interval during the whole lifetime of the business, that is 12 months. Okay, so this 12 month is called accounting period concept. Way years back it was from 1st January to 31st March, 31st December. Okay, but now according to income tax law 1961, they have decided that accounting period should start from 1st of the April of every year, and it should come on 31st March. Okay, so these 12 months has been taken, right, for your accounting purpose, and this is termed as financial year also. It starts from 1st April to 31st March of the next year. So these are the 12 months, right? And this is called your accounting period concept. So we do the transactions during that period, right? And we find out its financial position, we find out its financial results like gross profit, net profit, right? And then position statement we calculate with the help of the transactions which we have done during these 12 months. Okay, So this was your accounting period concept. You know, the first year when you start your business, so that can be different. Suppose you have started your business in between somewhere, 1st of the June you have done the inauguration of your business. So in the first year of the business, I'm telling you, so the timings will be different, like June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February and March. Okay, so these 10 months. So the first accounting year can be of 10 months. I mean, that can be different other than these 12 months. All right. Well, next we have cost or historical cost concept. Students, cost or historical cost. Okay, when we purchase some assets, okay, so that has been entered in your books of account on that particular value on which we have purchased, and year after year the same cost has been shown, right? So the time we have the balance sheet today, and if I observe certain assets in that, and it shows that in the past we have purchased certain assets and the value has been entered. So this is my this is because of my cost concept. Okay, means the original purchase price you enter in your balance sheet, right? That is the cost price of that particular assets. But it's not that year after year you have the same value. You know, on certain or most of the assets we charge depreciation also. Okay, every year we fix some percentage of the depreciation and we charge the depreciation on that assets, and due to the depreciation, value of your assets decreases year after year. Okay, so this is your cost or historical cost concept. Okay, means the time you have purchased, that price goes year after year. We have a market price also which fluctuates most of the time. Means suppose you have purchased a piece of land and its value was 5 lakh at that time, 5 years back it was 5 lakh. So in books we show the value 5 lakh rupees as your land. All right, today maybe its value is 50 lakh, tomorrow maybe that's 40 lakh, right? And after some time maybe its value is 80 lakh. So that changes, you know. This is one of the reason that we prefer to enter it on the cost, right? The cost concept is there. You know, whenever we have to deal at certain points, so we just find out the market value at that particular moment. Like some events also takes place in the business, you must have done. No, not you, you are in 11th standard. Later on you will study next year, admission of a partner, retirement and death of a partner. That time we value these assets. Fine, students. Now next we have dual aspect concept. The dual aspect concept, or you can say the double entry system. Dual aspect says that the effect has been recorded at double sides, both the sides. Okay, if you have debited something, so with the same amount this will be credited also. Okay, in one or more accounts the amount will be credited. If you have credited something, so in one or more account that will be debited, right? So dual aspect concept says if you have debited something by 50 rupees, so this will be credited by 50 rupees also. Okay, means two effects will be there, the double effect will be there. At two places this will be recorded, two or more places, but its effect will be equal, debit and credit will be equal. And the equation which we have learned in accounting equation, students, I hope you remember that. And this was your, it was assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Here we can see assets, right? These are containing the debit balance, and liabilities and capital, these are containing the credit balance. Okay, and we have the equal of that, right? So due to dual aspect concept, you can verify this at any time, and you will find at after any entry you can check that, you can pause and check that your equation will be equal. And this equation is equal because of dual aspect concept. We are following this concept, that's why your equation is always equal. Okay, next we will talk about the revenue recognition concept. That's very important, students, although everything is important. Revenue recognition concept. So what is revenue? In the previous class we have studied, I hope you remember. If you don't, I tell you, the amount which we realize from sale, that is your revenue. Okay, so revenue recognition concept, what time you recognize it as a sales. You know, suppose somebody has placed an order that provide me 50 articles of that particular goods. Okay, so you got an order from that person. One step. Second, after 10 days getting the order, after 10 days of getting the order, you have supplied the goods. Suppose on 1st March you got an order, and on 10th March you are supplying the goods to your customers. Okay, so on 10th March you are supplying, fine, and on 15th of the April you are getting its payment, right? After around 3 months you are getting the payment. So we have a 3 spots. So where you will recognize it as a sales, where this will be recognized as a sales. So the time the person has placed an order, is that a sale? No, it is not a sale. Okay, now there is a great confusion between these 2 points. The time you have sold the goods to the person, but you didn't receive the money at all. You have supplied the goods to your customer, okay, and you are receiving the money after 3 months. Around 3 months you are receiving the money. So sometimes students get confused. The time we have received the money, that should be recognized as sale. But no, students, it is not like that. Revenue recognition concept tells the time when the ownership has changed, the title of the goods has changed. So revenue should be recognized, means this will be termed as a sale, right? So credit sale and cash sale, both kind of sales are there. In cash sale, immediately we receive the money, there is no problem at all. So that then and there we recognize it as a sales. But in credit sale, as the example I have quoted, on 10th of the January you have supplied the goods, but after 3 months you are getting the revenue. That means in the next year. Although we are receiving the money in next year, but still this will be recognized as a revenue this year. This will be considered as a credit sale of this particular year. All right, students. So your revenue recognition concept is there. Fine. I hope it is clear. And you know, revenue recognition concept includes certain other things also, as certain expenses are there, outstanding and accrual basis, prepaid, everything is based on that. Next is your matching concept. Matching concept is somewhere related to the revenue recognition concept. Let's see. Matching concept, according to its name, matching, it matches. What is matching with what? Here we are talking about the revenues and the related expenses. In the previous one we have talked about the revenue recognition concept. So whatever the revenue you are recognizing in that particular year, for generating that revenue, for earning that revenue, whatever expenses you have done, okay, expenses you have done, that must be mentioned in that particular year where you have recognized the revenue. Are you getting my point? Revenue recognized you have done. Suppose in this year I have recognized the revenue. Fine. Now, for generating this revenue, means for selling these items, I have to do certain expenses, like advertisement expenses are there, certain other selling expenses are there, commission you have provided, okay, and you have paid salary to the salesman, office expenditure you have done for this sales, you know, which I have entered in this particular financial year. Okay. Now, maybe you have hired the services of those people, but you could not pay them till now. A few amount you have paid and a few is still pending, means outstanding expenses. But you have done these expenses, you have availed the services of those people for generating the revenue of this particular year. Okay. So matching concept means your revenue, okay, revenue and related expenses must be matched, means this year's revenue, okay, and this year's expenses. Fine. If you have done certain expenses in advance for the next year, so that will be deleted from this year. These are your prepaid expenses, okay, these we did not do for generating this revenue. Only those expenses we will be taking which we have incurred to earn the revenue of this year. Means जितना आप sales इस साल में दिखाते हैं, in the simple language I'm telling you, जितना सेल्स आप इस साल में दिखाते हैं उस सेल्स को अर्न करने के लिए जो भी एक्सपेंसेस किए गए हैं वो इस साल में दिखाए जाएंगे, ठीक है। वो एक्सपेंसेस चाहे आपने पे किए हैं या नहीं पे किए हैं, आइदर यू हैव पेड इट on the cash basis or maybe these are still outstanding. Is that clear? Okay, so your expenses must match with your revenues of this particular year. This is your matching concept. Okay, now next we have objectivity concept. Students, objectivity concept tells that there is an objective of your accounting that we must show the true and fair state of your business, and that is possible when you show the authentic transactions, okay, authentic events you are showing. So for this they are telling each and every transaction which you enter in your books of account that must be supported by the vouchers, means supporting vouchers must be available. For example, if you have sold something on cash basis, so receipt should be there, your cash memo should be there. If you have purchased it on the cash basis, you should have the cash memo. Invoice should be there, paying slip should be there, right? If you deposit something in the bank and all, if you are paying salary to your staff, so it's approved should be there. Means each and every transaction which you pass in the entries, journal entry, right, or subsidiary books में आप जो भी enter करते हैं, it must be supported by voucher. Okay, original voucher should be there. If you get the petrol fill in your vehicle of your, which is on the name of the business, right? So 2000 का पेट्रोल जो फिल कराया है, you should have a bill of that, right? Each and every expenses must be supported by the voucher. Only then authentication of the accounts are possible, means the things are true. Okay, so this is the objective of your business. So this is your objective concept, objectivity concept, right students? So here we have discussed the remaining concepts other than yesterday's. Okay, now we are talking about the conventions. Students, first we have to understand what is conventions and what are the difference between these, Conventions are the thing, year after year we are following some methods, certain things we are doing. I agree that this is the right thing to do, okay, and maybe somebody else is not agree, but with the passes of time they also agree, yes, you are right. So most of the people who are doing this work, this business, they agree on a same point, right? Like we have three conventions we have taken: full disclosure, materiality, and conservatism. This is convention. Okay, so these are the thing which is acceptable by most of the people, or we can say generally accepted by the people, right? So these are conventions. Okay, so let's talk about these conventions first, then we will discuss the differences. So the first convention is your convention of full disclosure. Students, your accounting tells that full disclosure should be there, transparency should be there, right? And everything must be disclosed in your books of account. As we know, in case of company, the things are open to the public, and we publish our financial statements. Okay, means we just let the public is supposed to know about all these transactions, about the things, about your financial reports. Okay, so convention of full disclosure, the things which are important, and the certain parties are interested in the financial statements of the business, which we have already done in certain previous classes. Okay, so the things should be disclosed in such a way that these interested party, they understand the thing properly, and they grab the information whatever they require from these accounts. Okay, next one is convention of materiality. Materiality means important thing. You must understand the thing which is material for me, maybe that's not material for me, for you. Material means certain which is very important to business or to somebody. In some areas, students, where there is a shortage of the water, so water is the material thing, isn't it? And somewhere electricity is the material, where there is a short supply of the electricity. Just take example, shortage of the water is there, and water comes only for 1 hour. So that 1 hour is very crucial for all the family members. They stop all the important work and they just rush to take water, isn't it? You might not be knowing this because you are not having that kind of shortage of the water. Just ask the people who are having that. Well, if we talk about the shortage of electricity, suppose electricity supply will be for 3 hours only, so everyone just try to complete all those kind of work which will be done with the help of electricity. Means your mom will be using the mixie grinder, okay, washing machine she will be using, and everyone will be charging their mobile, laptop, so and so, and all the electronic gadgets they will be doing that, right? And certain other work which will be done with the help of electricity, and you will switch on your AC in the room will be cool, so and so. So they won't they won't bother about the water because water is available. Here the people they are bothered about the electricity, okay. And certain other place, maybe both the things are in proper supply and they have certain other problems, so they will bother about that. So this is called materiality, okay. So for one company the material thing can be something different, and for another one that can be different. Let's take one more example regarding your business. Loose tools. If a small mechanic is there, so all these loose tools are very important for that person. If he is missing one screwdriver, so his work will be stopped. With the help of screwdriver he is just performing his job, okay. So that's very material, that's very important. But if we talk about a big company, any company which is manufacturing these four-wheelers, two-wheelers, so these are having a lot of kits of all these instruments. Let's talk about Escorts Limited, right? Any other example, you can say Tata Motors. So this screwdriver is not material thing for them. This is the simplest one, okay. So somewhere you can find the raw material is very important. Somewhere you will find laborers are very important. If there is a shortage of the laborer, we have the plenty of raw material that's available next to my factory, okay. So within no time I can get the raw material. At one phone the raw material will come, no problem. But laborers are not available, so laborers are a material thing for me. And if you talk about another industrialist, so laborers are just roaming here and there, you can catch them at any time, but raw material is not available, that comes from very far, okay. And the previous one where the laborers were important, they required the skilled laborers, and at a certain place only we get these kind of laborers, so they will come from very far, so that is the thing. So this is your convention of materiality, okay. And students, it tells that only material fact. I hope it is clear what is materiality. Now for accounting, in accounting concept if we talk, so all the material concepts must be disclosed, okay. It doesn't say that each and everything, this is just opposite of this, convention of full disclosure. Here this convention is telling that everything must be disclosed, and here it is telling that we should not disclose everything because we don't have this much space and time and all that, okay. You will find while doing the accountancy later on in the practical life, if we start disclosing everything, so the things will be hodgepodge and very complicated. So they are telling only important thing which is having some weightage that must be disclosed, means material item must be disclosed, okay. And you will find later on, note in this class, that under the balance sheet we show certain contingent liabilities are there. Now what are the contingent liability, might be thinking? Contingent liabilities are those one which are not the liability at this moment, but in future this can be a liability. Suppose one court case is going on, we never know who is going to win. Maybe you are the winner or you are the loser. If you are winner, that's fine, but if you are a loser, so you have to pay. So that could be a contingent liability for you, okay. Right, so these kind of things you show and as a footnote with the balance sheet, okay. Next one is your convention of conservatism, or you can say the prudence concept, okay. Here it's telling they are playing safe game, they are playing, they want to keep themselves safe, and they are bothered about the anticipatory losses, not about the anticipatory profits. Anticipatory losses means the losses which we expect in the future, means your bad debts, well known by you people. Bad debts are those people, those debtors who are turned bad, right, who don't pay you money, okay. So they are declared as bad debts. So this is my expected loss in the future, and because of this only, and according to this concept, we create provision for bad and doubtful debts. Okay, if you didn't learn, very soon we will learn. Fine. So we create provision for bad and doubtful debts under this conservatism or prudence concept. If I have any other problem, like we know that the value of assets decreases year after year due to depreciation, we due to wear and tear of the fixed assets, okay, the value is decreasing, and we keep this point in our mind and we create the provisions for depreciation also. Okay, in the same way, whatever we are expecting in the future that the value is going to be down, or some losses we are expecting, we create a provision for those things, right? We have certain provisions for fluctuations where you have done the investment, so we create the provisions for these investments and all. Okay, so these are because of your prudence concept, means you want to keep yourself safe. Okay, and if you are expecting some profits, anticipated profits are there, I know that I can have the profit in this transaction, so I don't bother about it. You might be knowing, if we are safe and if we have something good, we are not worried at all for this thing, isn't it? We are worried for the negative point only. If some problem is there, we are worried. If some loss is there, we are worried. If we have some profit, we are happy, there is no problem. So your convention of conservatism or prudence concept tells, this concept tells that we have to be very careful regarding anticipated losses. Fine, students? So here we have completed all the concepts and conventions. All right, so a little differences are there, so let me go through it for you. So they have taken the differences between concepts and conventions. Okay, so first it is telling the legal position. Accounting concepts have a legal acceptance, but conventions, these are decided by you and me. So accounting conventions are guidelines based upon custom or uses or general agreements. Okay, next one is recording versus financial statements. So accounting concepts are the basic assumptions on the basis of which transactions are recorded and accounts are maintained. We prepare our accounting on the basis of these concepts. You might have seen we are following all these concepts while preparing these accounts, and accounting concepts are followed in preparing the profit and loss and the balance sheet. Okay, these are the methods. I mean, we use the method like in the prudence concept, we take care of closing stock, at what price closing stock is mentioned, either cost or market price, whichever is less, right? So here we want to keep ourselves safe, and we are following the this convention of the prudence, right? इसको हम prudence concept भी बोल देते हैं कभी, और convention of the conservatism or prudence. Okay, keeping ourselves safe. Now significance. These are the uniform set of rules usually followed in recording the transaction. I'm talking about the concepts, and there are these are not so important as accounting concepts. Conventions are important, but not as important as the concepts are there, because accounting which we do, that is based on the concepts, but conventions, these are the generally accepted conventions. Sometimes you don't follow that, right? Hardly matter. Now role of personal. There is no role of personal judgment or individual bias in following the accounting concepts. No biasness is there. The concepts are equal for everyone, right? Dual aspect concept is there, means double entry you have to follow. Revenue recognition is same for everyone. Okay, wherever you are doing the business matching concept, everything is same for everyone. Okay, but personal judgment may play its very important role for the conventions. Okay, sometimes people can be biased, So personal judgment may play a crucial role in the adoption of the accounting conventions, because personally they have to take decision, they have to deal with all these things, so sometimes the biasness can be there. And the last one is telling that uniform adoption. There is uniform adoption of accounting concepts in different enterprises, as we have discussed it many times, that uniform adoption, each and every industry, business entity, they are following all the concepts. So there is no problem. The accountants or the chartered accountants, they are being taught the same things, and on the basis of those they are doing the auditing and accounting of all the firms. And there is no uniformity in the adoption of the accounting conventions in various enterprises. We have discussed, depends upon the person, and sometimes the biasness can be there. The personal, the people, they just judge the things according to their own personal judgment is there. Okay, so we don't find the similarity, in all the concerns regarding conventions, right, students? So this was in between somewhere, and later on we have completed all the conventions, full disclosure. This was your materiality and prudence concept. All right, students, so here we have completed this chapter. So while going through this, you will find certain things are there, so you must go through all that. But whatever I have explained, when this topic comes in exam, that explain accounting period concept, right, money measurement concept, so you will find everywhere 3-4 lines are very important. This explain everything. You don't have to write a big paragraph for this. You should conclude your topic within 3-4 lines, maximum 5 lines, which should contain the gist of the whole topic. Understood that? So I have explained the gist of these topics, but for your deep knowledge you can go through all the points which are given. Okay, but you'll find nothing more than these things. Okay, at your level only these things are required. So in next class, students, we will start chapter number 4, that is cash basis and accrual basis. That's very easy, interesting. Okay, and within one class we can finish that topic. So I request all of you, although teachers are not supposed to request, but this is the time, we have to request because students are not studying. So complete your work on the daily basis. As you can see, 2-3 classes for the theory class, and 2-3 more classes will be there of theory. Okay, so theory is also equally important as the practicals are there, because this is the basic thing, fine, and this enhances your knowledge. So learn the theory properly. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, and prepare well for your exam. Thank you.